Hey, peace and blessings, everybody. So, ladies, I want to talk to y'all one moment about. It's something I've been thinking about. I say for the last about 2 or 3 days, and I say, okay, family, today I'm gonna put it out there. I have to go ahead and say it. I believe that I've thought on it, I've studied it, I've really looked into it, and I have to go ahead and say it. And it's this here, ladies. If you are a woman who's working on being a better woman. You understand you're not perfect, but you don't just say you're not perfect. You know you're not perfect, and you know that your parents wasn't perfect, and their parents weren't perfect. So you know that in your upbringing, some things has happened in everybody's imperfection that has scarred you, that has caused some type of mental and emotional imbalance within you, that you have maybe even been able to skillfully make normal as though it doesn't exist. You've learned how to cover it up. You've learned how to strengthen your strength to the point to where your weaknesses isn't seen. If you're a woman that knows this and you're constantly striving to improve your inner you, your spiritual and your mental you, if you're a woman that wants to be happy, if you're a woman that's truly looking for a man that's going to cherish you, that's going to love you, that's going to protect you, that's going to honor you, that's going to admire you, that's going to do everything that you want your man and your king to do and to be. If you that kind of woman, I'm going to first say you do have the obligation of being a reflection of the man you want, of the king you want, not when he gets to you, but he needs to be able to see and recognize a queen from a distance, a wife from a distance in you. He can't see a woman that he wouldn't wife now, but that you say he can't see a woman that he wouldn't wife with the hopes that you turn into that woman. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the bulk of my message. So don't run off. Don't put your defense up. I'm saying first that needs to be you though. First that needs to be your criterion and your obligation, because I'm specifically making this message for that woman, for the woman who is striving always to improve her spirituality, her spiritual side, her spiritual self, her mental self. These two coincide now. I'm saying a woman that is constantly, daily mindful of the fact that in being the best her she can be, that these things is that's the word I'm looking for. What was you gonna say? It's necessary. It's necessary that this has to be cultivated and nourished to be that woman, right? A woman is where it is. I know I spent almost 3 minutes trying to make sure I'm emphasizing that this is the woman I'm talking to now. Now, for you, if you meet a man that has a bunch of money, he know how to spoil you, he know how to treat you good, his presentation is good. You meet a man that keeping his physical up, he looking all good, he's striving, he's strong. You meet a man, he might be broke, don't really have no bunch of money, might not necessarily stay by himself, but he got a bunch of plans, and he's striving about, going to bring all these plans and dreams into fruition, and you believe in him. See, if you meet any one of these three brothers, but neither one of the three have made improving who they are as a man, who they are as a husband, who they are as a son, who they are as a brother. If you meet a man who isn't working towards constantly trying to be the best him he can be, because he understands that he isn't perfect. He understands that his parents wasn't perfect and their parents wasn't perfect. And he understands that in everybody's imperfection, things has happened to him. You know, he's suffered some things. He's lived with some things, some of those sufferings, some of those wounds and scars, to the point to where he's been told not to cry, not to whimper, not to complain. So he's learned how to hide all those things, and everything that he had felt, he had wrote it all off as, this is just what a man does. This is just what a man go through. You know what I'm saying? If you meet an individual who isn't working towards being the best him he can be, with that understanding that he knows he's not perfect, but he don't just know he's not perfect and want you to treat him like he's perfect. He knows he's not perfect while striving to be the best him that he can be. If you meet a man who is not doing that, if you meet a man who is not a reflection of your strive, and I'm not talking about just on a financial level. You see, if finance is your core value, that's the most important thing for you, then that's what's going to catch your attention first. If the physical aspect of the man is your core value, and that's what's going to catch your attention first, then that's what's going to pull you in. And by the time you realize he has no substance, or he has not the substance that you desire a king to have, you know, he don't have the substance of a king. When you finally figure that out, you gonna be done gave up your jewels, you done gave up some of your peace of mind, and you may give up your health or something else. But here the deal is, you can't blame nobody but yourself. Even if he flat out lie to you about whatever, you can't blame nobody but yourself, because your criteria needs to be looked at. You see, your criteria wasn't one that was looking for a king, wasn't looking for a husband. And if you was looking for a king or a husband, the thing that you value most about this king or a husband was his finances and his physical appearance. But was this king striving? I mean, and here one thing about a king that's like this here, as well as a queen that is like this here, they're gonna talk about. They're gonna talk about the things that come out of their mouth is about self-development. It's about mental improvement and development. It's about it cultivating these two. An individual that is about that, you're gonna tell by their language and by their walk. Because if it's just in their talk and their walk doesn't support the talk, then hey, that's a red flag. An individual word actions have to support their words, whether it be her or him. See, we gotta stop looking for. We gotta stop meeting boys and girls, but saying we want a man and a woman. We gotta stop meeting niggas and hoes, saying we want a king and a queen. You understand? That's the problem. We meeting bad bitches and stunners or whatever, you know, whatever all these different slangs and terminology is today. But we claim we want kings and queens and husbands and wives. Find somebody who is truly trying to be the best individual that they can be. Not just sometimes, all the time. For an individual that's striving in that way, they have to only be trying to improve themselves on the mental and spiritual level. Of course, financially and physically is going to also coincide. That's balance. And I'm not saying one is really more important than the other per se. They all equally important. But my point is that a lot of time we leave out that aspect. We leave out, and I really want to say that's really the most important. It's the most important, kind of like a 60-40 type of thing. It's the most important. Your mental and your spiritual development is the most important, if not a greater percentage of that. But if you meet an individual that's not striving in that way to improve that, to be about that, to constantly always wanting to be better. If you meet someone that's not trying to do that, I advise that you detach and move on. I advise that you not even pay it no attention. Be a friend from a distance, maybe possibly. An associate better yet. Anyway, peace and bless.